Okay, hello, welcome. This is um presentation. Yeah, let's get right into it. This is about making Australia quiet again. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I don't know how many people who watch my videos actually live in Australia, specifically in the part of Sydney that I live in. Well, besides Port, maybe. You'll notice that loud chimp outs have become more common in recent years, and it's all because of the muzzies like revving their cars at night. Yeah, there's a lot of alternative terms that we can refer to them as well, other than muzzies. We can call them wogs, Arabs, what have you, and this wouldn't be a problem if we just didn't let those people in the first place. Let's look at examples of them. Ew. Fucking gross. And this is because they refuse to assimilate. And now what is assimilation? It basically means like when you move to a country, you become that country. Um because a country, it's not simply its geography, it's people, right? Like, does this make sense? Now, of course, it's not like you can't change your skin color, right? This isn't I'm not racist, but well, but the thing you can change though is, like I just said, is your attitude. Such as, Jeets talking on the phone or Muslims having really fucking loud house parties in the cars. Oh my goodness, they're everywhere. These fucking Westies, they keep revving their cars, and it seems like nothing is done about it, which I'll discuss a bit more later in this presentation. Like, oh yeah, especially this first point right here, speaking in broken English, but then looking at me like I'm the fucking brainlet here, even though I'm not. Like, uh, I remember doing like this work trial for an Assyrian restaurant, and barely anybody fucking spoke English. Like, it was fucking over before it began. And of course, I fucked up during that shift. As you do, regardless if people speak proper English or not. I think any fella would make mistakes on their first day of work. That's completely natural. But to look at my fuck up, to look at me like I'm Joe Biden, to look at me like I don't know where I am, to look at me like I'm a fucking less of a human just because I can't understand you. I mean, I think that's pretty fucked up, man. I think that's probably the entire reason why I decided to make this here presentation. I'm still fucking salty about that. So yeah, it was over before it began uh, in that work trial. As the RuneScape community says, you choose to limit yourself. I mean, these people, like I said, it's not about what the fuck. You can't change your race, but you can choose to assimilate to Australian culture, which these people refuse to do. They'll keep on making loud noise or whatever, and I don't think it's on. And I believe there's actually a correlation between having a high IQ and having a noise intolerance. As you can see at this very accurate graph, it's 100% trustworthy of a source. Just believe it. Just dude, trust Um, you know, yeah. Like, so the more smarter you are, the more you hate noise. In simple words, I know this graph is very. It might be too complicated for some people to follow, but that's what it means. You see this red line right here? The higher it is, the more you hate noise. And this blue line, it means that it represents IQ, intelligence. Well, not that I think IQ is a great measure of intelligence. I just made up this graph in the moment to use it as a bit. I don't actually believe in IQ. It's probably inaccurate, but it's a good prop to use in the moment. So consequences. What are the consequences of this shit? Well, this presentation, it may come across as me being, bitchy or whiny, but it's not merely annoyance. There are actual physical and psychological health consequences of this shit. Like, you got as you can see, we got all the types of cardiovascular diseases here. It fucks up your heart, it fucks up your brain, your sleep, and oh yeah, and there's also another consequence is homicide. There was actually a news story of a man killing his neighbor because they were too loud.
We've learned that a Galesburg man accused of killing his neighbors said that he did it because they were being too loud. Court documents show 31-year-old William Wolf admitted to shooting his neighbors, Virgil and Kaylee Walker, around 6:30 in the...
You get the point. I know this is not an Australian example, but this is Australia's future. This is our future. If we don't put it into this. Like, even this guy is like, I don't wanna, he didn't do nothing. Free my nigga. I don't even want to arrest this guy. Even this guy right here is like, what the fuck? Why? He didn't even do anything wrong. Why'd you call us? But anyway, so we need solutions, okay? And how do we do that? Well, we already do have laws existing that address these issues, but none of those laws are actually enforced. I mean, you have like the council website, where you could report people. You could, I know there's like I think it's like after 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. you're just not allowed to make noise at all. But people still keep doing it because no one actually cares, because the police and the people in general, they don't see it as big of a problem, even though it actually is a big problem. So I would advocate, well, one, to actually enforce these laws and maybe implement harsher consequences on top of those. Maybe, I mean, you could fine them thousands and thousands of dollars. You could euthanize them, deport them, imprison them if that's too extreme. And all sorts of solutions, which I've already listed here, kind of. We could start taxing mosques as well. And just to give back to the victims, we could introduce some sort of program, or just make it outright illegal to just beat the people who are making noise. But no one wants to do that. I mean, and why is that? Well, it's because not enough people are aware of the issue. And how do we spread awareness of the issue? Well, we can do it through social media, specifically rage bait. I've been doom scrolling on Twitter a lot lately, and it's been very educational. We got lots of people. I mean, more people than ever now are drew pilled. people are made aware of the Jeets, the Muzzies, everyone, but everyone except the Arabs, everyone except the Lebanese people, or even fucking those Maori people. I should have included this in the presentation as like another video to show, but there's a video of this Maori. I don't fucking know how to pronounce these inferior brown cultures. There's this brown islander woman in a New Zealand government parliament house or something. They were giving some sort of speech, and yeah, she was like making this really weird sound. They call it the haka. It's very, I don't even want to impersonate it. But it's very chimpy. It was a chimp out, and she was like ripping like a paper in front of her as some kind of form of protest. Very cringe. I actually saw that video on Twitter as well. So they have it. While doom scrolling on Twitter, they have somewhat of an awareness of those islander people chimping out, but not so much the Lebanese people, which I think is that's pretty fucked up. I think someone needs to make a Rage Farm account just documenting all of these Westies, instead of like a bunch of black kids beating up on a little white girl on a bicycle, like a toy bicycle. We could showcase that the Lebs are doing their crimes, not just the Nigs. So this ensures that, because I'm a very culturally diverse individual, I advocate for racial awareness against all races, not just niggers, not just Pidgeets, kikes, or whatever. We want to get the wogs in that as well for damaging the ears of the Australian people and our Australian children. And, making this video, again, I'm just using this as a prop, like in the moment. I don't actually care about, charity or whatever. I'm just doing this like as a bit. Making this video, it made it possible for me to donate to the charity organization known as Deaf Children Australia. Now think about what kind of life that is. I mean, you have children, Australian children out there, like our own children, who will never have the pleasure of listening to Baited podcast or even this video. I'm sure YouTube transcripts are very helpful, but overall, it must be a very painful life to not be able to hear music as well, or listen to the radio, or like Baited podcast. But you can ease their pain by donating via the link below. I've actually, like I said, I donated $14.88 myself. So I hope everyone learned something from this informative journalistic piece. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you for listening.